Hey guys, this is Tashina from Logical Harmony. Welcome back to my channel. I hope you're having a great week. Today I am sharing a get ready with me showing my foundation routine when my skin is really dry, and I'm talking really dry. Normally I have combination dry skin. It tends to stay pretty evenly balanced, and every time, I kid you not, every time that I say, my skin isn't really dry, then it flares up and it gets super duper dry and I get flaky dry patches that are very stubborn to leave. My skin just wants to be on that borderline dry. It's been doing it lately, and as a result, I've had a ton of really bad flaky skin here, and it's been really red and inflamed. It's been really hot here. It's like 90 plus temperatures every day, and I've been trying out some different skincare, and I think just the combination of things, my skin is not calming down no matter how much water I drink, no matter how many electrolyte tabs I take. I'm doing what I can to hydrate from internally, but there's also things that I can do with my skincare and with my makeup that make a huge difference in my skin when it is this dry and angry. As I go into this, you guys are gonna see my bare face, and you'll notice that especially here and here, I have some red patches. Those were covered in flaky dry skin, but I did a gentle exfoliation. This morning I used a washcloth and some face oil to help. This morning I used a washcloth and some face oil over that spot. I do have some dryness on my cheeks as well. You guys have seen a lot of my different foundation routines, including ones where I use like the Cover FX Power Play foundation, which is a natural matte finish, and how I make it work for my skin. This is going to be a much more intensive dry skincare routine. So if you have dry skin, just keep watching. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I hope you get some tips from this. Be sure to comment below and share your tips. To start with, I use the Derma E Hydrating Night Cream on my skin. This stuff has hyaluronic acid in it, which is really, really good for your skin. It helps to pull in any moisture that's around it. And I use specifically the night cream because it's a little thicker and a little more hydrating. I feel like under makeup, at least when my skin is really dry, it tends to hold on to products a little bit better. They do make a day cream version, which is amazing. But when my skin is this dry, I need the nighttime one. So I apply that all over my face. After that, I do one pump of the Skin Owl Beauty Whip. You guys have seen me in a video where I use this as a primer underneath the Wet n Wild Photo Focus foundation. I'll link to that down below. The combination of these two really helps when my skin is dry. This helps to bring some moisture to the skin, and this really helps to nourish it and calm down the redness. My skin will get so dry that it will start cracking on those spots and bleeding if I'm not careful. So using Beauty Whip really, really helps to keep it in check. The next thing that I do is I spray my entire face with Rose Tone from Caney Botanicals. This is a really nourishing toner. It has rose water in it. It has aloe leaf. It does also have a little bit of vegetable glycerin. So it's kind of helping to lock in the moisture from the other products, as well as kind of creating a base for my makeup too. When my skin is this dry, I try not to use primers because I want to give as much moisture to my skin as possible. And I find that using this as a priming spray helps to lock the moisture in and help give a good foundation for my products. Now, when my skin is dry, the last thing that I want to do is load on a bunch of powders or load on some heavy coverage foundations. I keep things pretty light, and I use a lot of products from Au Naturel to do that. One thing that I really like their products is that they are makeup, but they also feel a lot like they have skincare benefits to it. They're very soft on the skin, very, very easy to blend out, very nourishing. So what I do is I start with the foundation sticks. I just go right in there, and today I use two different ones. I use Mallorca and Kapua, I think, because I'm in between shades right now for what I have. And their foundation sticks are just very, very creamy. They're very, very moisturizing. They're just really nice. So right now I am between those two shades. I really need to pick up some more shades so that I have better matches for me when I'm self-tan, but I just mixed them together on my face. So I just applied them to different patches all over my face. I focused applying the darker shade where I might be contouring or adding bronzer, and then the lighter shade where I would want to highlight. That way it lays that base already, and then I blended them out. What works really well when my skin is really dry and I'm blending this out is the Smashbox. Good job. When my skin is this dry, I like to use the blurring foundation brush from Smashbox, especially with these cream foundations. It really lets me buff them in, and since I'm using two shades, it lets me mix really, really easily. It doesn't irritate my skin more. A lot of brushes when my skin is dry just kind of irritate it more and make it more red and more angry, and this brush is really soft and doesn't do that. That's why I like it so much. So I just buff that in. It just gives a good coverage and nice finish to the skin. It looks really natural. That's one thing I love about the Au Naturel foundations. One thing that I do that's a little bit weird when my skin is dry is I don't apply my color corrector first. I like to get a layer of foundation in there, just see what the product's gonna look like, make sure that it matches, and really see what irritation is coming through the foundation. So I apply my initial layer of foundation, and then I put some color corrector on, and I use the Au Naturel color corrector in Sweet Basil, which is a green toned color corrector to help balance out the redness. After that first layer of foundation, I apply this just where I really need it. So I did do it on some spots around my mouth and up near my cheek, because those were the spots where the redness was still coming through. Once I blend that out, then I layer just a little bit more foundation over it to help blend it in and help make it so it's not so obvious that I have green color corrector on my face. The two blend together really, really nicely, and I feel like it just adds to that coverage of the foundation. I find that using the color corrector is especially helpful. One, the cream color corrector is really moisturizing and hydrating, and two, it keeps me from layering on too much foundation. So I have that initial color down, I color correct, I add a tiny bit more, and then I'm done. If I were doing this with just foundation, I would add a lot more product, which is going to draw attention and emphasize the dryness in those areas. Continuing with cream products, I basically use as many as I can when my skin is really dry. So I do a cream bronzer, a cream blush, and cream highlight. So today I use the Au Naturel cream bronzer in the shade Latte, which is really nice. It's a really nice warm bronzer. They do have one other that's a little less warm, and I find it to be really good to double as a contour as well. I just think that's really, really pretty. I used the cream blush in Grapefruit. And the reason that I wanted to use this blush is because it does have a little bit of shimmer to it, so it helps to bring some life back into the skin. That's also a big theme, I feel like. When my skin's really dry, it's very lackluster. I want to add a lot of luminosity to it, and so I like shimmery blushes. And this being a cream blush means that it blends out a little bit easier and it's more hydrating on the skin. For highlight, I used the OG cream highlight, which is a gold tone. And part of why I use this is because I didn't want a super blinding highlight, but I wanted something to just add more life to my skin, and the gold blends in really nicely with the foundation. It blends really nicely with the bronzer and the blush. You can definitely still see it, and you can tell that I have highlight, but it's very natural. It's very like lit from within. So I apply that on my cheeks, on my Cupid's bow, and just work that into the skin. So after I've done all that is when I apply my concealer. Again, I use the Au Naturel concealer because it's so nourishing. When my skin is dry, my under eyes get incredibly dry as well. So that is where I really, really like their concealer. And then after that, I just use a light dusting of their finishing powder. I find that this is the best finishing powder to use with their products. It really helps to meld everything together. I feel like it makes it all look smooth and even, but it's not overly drying. It works so well with that foundation. It sets it in place, but it doesn't feel at all dry. It doesn't feel tacky either. It's just the perfect setting powder to use with these products. Everything I use, I'll make sure to list down below so you guys know the products and the shades as well. Really though, if you have dry skin, you definitely need to check out Au Naturel. Theirs have been the best products to work with my dry skin, and especially if you have the painfully dry skin that I get sometimes, it's gonna be such a lifesaver for you to have these products. Comment, let me know your favorite products for dry skin, and I'll see you guys in my next video.